A two-thread overlock is using one needle and only the lower looper. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove my upper looper thread. So for me, that's my green thread. So I'm going to just lift the foot and kind of let that come on out here. I'm going to clip these threads, pull out my extra red one because I've got extra. There comes my green one. Okay, so this one's going to be the narrow version. So we're going to go to stitch 16. So we have two thread overlock narrow. There's actually kind of two versions of this. Stitch 16 and then also stitch 17 is a two thread narrow edge. So they both have a little different feel to them. We'll just start with the first one. So first thing that I want to do is notice how I'm setting this up. The last thing I did was with a rolled hem. So I want to make sure I get that stitch finger pushed back in because it says in. Always watch for that because some stitches it's out, some stitches it's in, and everything else here should be about the same, except notice this picture here. When you do a two thread, you will be engaging the two thread converter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to notice where my lower looper thread is. It's going to be right in the way. So I'm going to kind of pull my blue thread back kind of out a little bit. And here we go. Okay, so I'm not really pulling it out of the looper, I'm just getting it kind of out of the way. This little part here, see this little white button? All you're going to do is flip that down, and it puts a little finger in the back of the upper looper. So it's really easy. It's either not engaged with the arrow pointing up, but with two thread, you just flip it down. That's how easy this is. I love it. So a two thread is going to put a lighter, more delicate edge along the fabric. Also, we have the we'll say right here, it has the B needle in, so that's our right needle, so we'll have a narrow version of this. We can also do a wide version, that's one of the other stitches, and it would have us put in the A needle, but since I have the B needle in, or the right one, we're going to go with this. Okay, anything else I need to set up? Nope, we're just going to do it on the lightweight fabric, just let you kind of see where we are. I'm going to just slide that fabric all the way in, since that's where I'm at, and then let my stitch come down into fabric first. Kind of just double check where I am. Since my threads were over the top of this foot when I started, and that's okay, I just sometimes, once the stitch starts, I'll shorten them up. So those little threads can just go right onto the back side there. All right, let's go ahead and look at this stitch. So we have a needle, thread, and my lower looper, which means my blue thread is right here. So it puts a nice lightweight edge, and then on the back we have just the needle thread showing. So this is meant to just go along the edge. So the difference between this and a 3-thread edge is that it's not so heavy because there's only 2 threads in this and 3 threads in this. So if you only had 2 threads of the color you're looking for, you can go ahead and simplify it and just use 2. So this is, now just look right here. Let's kind of look at it. I've got a little tunneling, what I call tunneling, happening. That means that the fabric is kind of bowing inside of those loopers here. That means that I have too much fabric being shoved into a little tiny spot. So I'm going to take my knife. We're going to move it from the outside edge to the inside. So we're going to come over here to the side, and my knife, well, yeah, because it was at 7 for my last little stitching. I'm going to move it down, let's go 6, maybe a little less than 6.5. It's brought it in just a little bit for this fabric. That could be just the distance we need. I'm kind of watching down here as I see my fabric running. Maybe back to, I really didn't need to move it much. When you work with such a lightweight fabric, that really doesn't take much change to get that to go. And now look how flat it is. Oh my goodness, I love it. That stitch is absolutely perfect. Now, we mentioned that there was a 2-thread overlock. Let's see here, on 16, that's the narrow. And then there's a 2-thread narrow edge. So let's just go up to 17. We'll compare those 2 stitches here. Let's see here, everything. Oh, now I'm going to do it with the rolled hem. So we're going to pull that little stitch finger out. I've got my 2-thread converter still in, and everything else should be the same. The needles, the right needle, and let's go ahead and do that edge. We'll just go along here. Then we'll have them side by side. So with the stitch finger pulled out, that's going to be that stitch is going to be a lot narrower because that fabric's going to fold because there's no stitch finger in there. So it's going to look like a rolled hem a little bit here. But it's not very tight Okay, and it just pulls that right on over the edge. So again, more of a delicate edge. We could change that a little bit. I don't see it coming all the way over to the edge, so this is where I'm going to adjust a little bit of the tension. I'm going to tighten up my needle thread. What is it now? It's not very much, so I like it a little bit more pulled over. Actually, it's probably more of a 2-thread rolled edge is probably what I'm thinking. That's stitch number 21, but actually, well, so let's just tighten it up and we'll just compare. So you can have kind of a couple different variations just depending on your fabric that you're doing. Usually when I do this as a 2-thread, I like it to pull more to the back side. So how nice is that? Again, very light and delicate, perfect for those lighter weight fabrics.